This man held a stick to kill a person. Then he ripped out the person's heart. As he was about to eat it, Robinson screamed loudly. The black person was so scared that he ran away. In the previous day, Robinson saved a black person. Without hesitation, the black followed Robinson to the beach. Although he saved the black didn't know him, and picked up a wooden stick to fight with Robinson intentionally. Robinson was frightened, so he pointed a gun and a knife at him. But the black prisoner knelt down and put his foot on his shoulder. Before he could have reacted, he had been knocked to the ground. The black grabbed the gun, but he didn't know how to use it, because the black hasn't been fluent in the language, so they couldn't communicate with each other. He took out food in his pocket and had placed it aside. When the black man was about to approach to get it, suddenly a pursuer rushed out of the bush and attacked them. He shot every single one of them with each shot. The black man stabbed the pursuer with a wooden stick, and then ripped out that person's heart. Robinson swiftly came back to his shelter, because he didn't know if the black man was a friend or an enemy. Afraid of being attacked at night, he set up a lot of traps, and didn't dare go out. A few days later, he heard the sound of human beings. Therefore, he went out to check, but as the result, he was trapped in the black man's trap, and was hung upside down. He got happy as he took Robinson's gun, but he didn't know how to use it, so he just held it curiously. Robinson was quick-witted that he used his knife to cut the rope, and then took the gun. Let the black know the power of the gun, he died a bat. The black also picked up a wooden stick, and threw a bat to death. He proudly brought 2 bats to show off. Robinson found the black man reliable, so he guided the black man to his residence. Incidentally, that day was Friday, so he named the black man Friday, and asked him to call Robinson owner. The appearance of the black man brought excitement to Robinson. He treated Friday as his student to teach. Friday had quickly become his great assistant. 2 people grew vegetables and caught fish together. Even Robinson taught Friday English. After Friday made a great effort in a year, they could talk to each other ordinarily. Robinson lived happily on the island, but one day, suddenly they heard a shout in the forest. As expected, the Aboriginal people tied a person to sacrifice. Robinson lighted a fire to burn the Aboriginal people. The flame quickly spread towards the Aboriginal people, but Robinson's dog was also attracted to the fire and ran over. Then there was a loud explosion. Although the Aboriginal people were exploded, the 2 of them also had to deal with many others. Robinson and Friday decided to make a boat to leave this place. The rainy season was coming, so they had to finish the boat before that. In the rainy season, they fixed the boat on the shore, but it rained more and more heavily. The small boat was filled with rainwater, and the soil also begun to turn into mud. In the end, because the boat was too heavy, it slipped into river. After a storm, their residence was completely destroyed. The goat which they kept was also hit by something and died. More importantly, the boat was also swept away by the water. The night of the full moon was coming. The Aboriginal people would return to that deserted island. They didn't have time to make another boat, so they couldn't run away. They decided to fix their residence for the rest of the time. They set traps, and already prepared to weapons. The last thing was to wait for the Aboriginal people to fall into traps. When the night of the full moon came, the Aborigines went to the deserted island. Robinson tried using the sound of flute to lure them to his residence. All of these were in the calculation of Robinson. They had absolutely no idea that this was an intellectual battle between modern humans and primitive ones. When Robinson thought that all the enemies had been killed, he picked up his gun to examine the situation. But Robinson was suddenly attacked by a survivor, and was hit by 1 bullet. Unfortunately, Robinson was tied. They asked Robinson and Friday to fight against each other. The winner can survive. Robinson and Friday were arranged to fight together by the Aborigines. Even though the 2 didn't want to hurt each other, they had no choice in this situation. Although Robinson gained the upper hand, when he put the knife on Friday's neck, he still didn't heartlessly kill his friend, who had been by his side for some years. Suddenly, his knife fell down. At that time, he asked Friday to kill him, so that he could become a member of the tribe. While Friday was hesitating, he got hit by 1 shot. It turned out that the fleet of a ship passing by the island successfully saved Robinson. Robinson embraced Friday and screamed in pain. Robinson's only friend died like that. After that, Robinson also followed the fleet back to civilized society. If you were in a deserted island, what would you do?